So I did finally catch a glimpse at the new teaser trailer for Sonic Prime, and honestly, guys, it looks really good. I am not going to deny that. Um, and you know, when I see this, I'll be honest with you, knowing that Wild Brain is behind it, you know, just based on what I saw and the screenshots that have also been floating around that you'll probably see here in this audio. um, it's it is giving off, and I say this with all due respect, but to me, what I saw here with this trailer and what we see with these screenshots, it's it's oddly giving off SatAM like vibes. It really is. Especially when Sonic goes into this alternate universe of his world. And you see Amy's now part cyborg, and Tails is kind of part cyborg, but not entirely. But he has spider legs or something he can use as spider legs. Knuckles is with a barrette now, and Rouge is, you know, I guess kind of more of a fighter or something like that. Again, just based off when he interacts with them in that other world, even before that change happens, like I said, it's giving off to me SatAM vibes. Like when he goes to that other world or that alternate universe of one of many, obviously, you look at Amy and you see Amy is half cyborg, and you know the first character you think of when it comes to a cyborg, hero or heroine in a Sonic franchise is Bunny Rabbit. So you look at Amy being in that position, you're like, she's basically the Bunny Rabbit of Sonic Prime. You look at Rouge, and you can assume Rouge is kind of like the Sally of the group, maybe. And that Tails, well, he's Tails, and Knuckles, maybe he's like the Rotor or the Antoine, but more braver, the Antoine of the Archie comics and stuff. So, so to me, it gives off those kind of vibes. And we know that there's going to be more worlds that Sonic's going to explore. There's going to be other, I should say, interpretations of his friends he's going to encounter. But just based off what we see here, based on the fact that Eggman, Robotnik calls them the Resistance and everything, and they're basically fighting like a team. Like I said, it just gives off SatAM like vibes, like no other. I mean, Sonic X, let's be honest, it was basically the second best Sonic cartoon out there when it came out. And people could say, well, that was kind of like the SatAM of the 2000s. And maybe it was. But when I'm talking about giving off SatAM like vibes, I'm talking basically giving off vibes that feel like all you have to do, and people have brought this up as well, all you have to do is palette swap, design swap, characters like Amy and Rouge with Sally and Bunny and Knuckles with Rotor, and probably add in Antoine as a bonus or whatever, keep Tails in there, and it gives you those vibes. It gives you those vibes of these are the freedom fighters. That these could be the freedom fighters, in a new series. Like Rouge, as I mentioned, could be the equivalent of Sally. Amy could be the equivalent of Bunny, especially as a cyborg and stuff. So you have those elements, you have those vibes, coming off of this show, off this preview for the show, I should say. And I can't help but think I just can't help but think they took inspiration, from other Sonic elements. I can't help but think they took inspiration. Because, again, Wild Brain owns the distributing rights to SatAM. So obviously they took inspiration from all different versions of Sonic that they own, from Adventures to Underground to SatAM, and put it all together into this, melting pot known as Sonic Prime. And because of that, it gives off those kind of vibes. That it feels like, as I mentioned, all you have to do is replace certain characters, with other characters, and you get SatAM in Sonic Prime. You get the Freedom Fighters. Like I said, you replace Amy Rose, both in the Prime world and the alternate world, or the Prime universe and the alternate universe of Sonic's world. You replace Amy Rose with Bunny Rabbit. There you go. You replace Rouge in both versions of the world, and you get with Sally. There you go. You don't have to change too much. Knuckles, take him out, put Antoine in his place or Roto in his place. Keep Tails in there as is. Add in Antoine as a bonus, or Roto as a bonus, and there you go. There you go. Or heck, if you don't want to include Roto, that's fine. You just have Antoine in there in the place of Knuckles, and like I said, Bunny Rabbit in the place of Amy Rose, and Sally in the place of Rouge. And there you go. It's like all you have to do is just character swap, palette swap out those characters, for Bunny, Sally, and Antoine, and pretty much you have yourself SatAM for a new generation. And that's what it feels like to me. And because I get that feeling, not only do I believe that down the line, if this goes for multiple seasons, and we don't know if it will, not only down the line will we see the Freedom Fighters, because I think we have to. I mean, I get the concept of, okay, it's a multi-universe, and it's a multi-universe set in the world based around the games. I get that. I understand that. And we see that already. And we're going to see that as the show progresses. But the fact that I just get this feeling they took inspiration from, elements of SatAM and Underground and Adventures, and mixed it all together into the show. And you get this team setting where even Rouge is part of the team. And let's not forget this. Rouge, even to this day, is still looked at as, a jewel thief. She's still looked at as a jewel thief, but with a good heart. She always does the right thing, and puts her love for jewels, on the shelf for the time being. But here you have her as the integral part of the team. You don't have her associated with Team Dark in any shape or form. I mean, yeah, she's going to have an encounter with Shadow. We know that. We know that. We know she's going to have an encounter with Shadow. In the show, because he's even on one of the promotional posters. But still, you look at her as part of the team, as working alongside, fighting alongside Amy Rose, Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic in both worlds, in both the established world and the alternative world. And again, that to me is just an example of they didn't have to do that, but they did it because I believe they took inspiration from Sonic SatAM, from Underground, from Adventures, and mixed it all together. That is why even now, in fact, I'll try to post it up here if you guys can see it. Even now, people are editing like, what's the name? Peachart. I think Peachart is the name. The editing, in characters from Sonic SatAM into these posters. Like the one with Rouge, they edited in Sally. They put Sally in her place to kind of give you an idea of this is pretty much what you're getting. It's just that instead of Sally, you're getting Rouge, and instead of Bunny, you're getting Amy and such. Instead of instead of Antoine, you're getting Knuckles and such. So to me, just because you're kind of getting those vibrations just based off what everybody else is noticing, I've got a feeling this is going to be a huge hit for not only Netflix, but for WildBrain and Sega in general. It's going to be a huge hit. And like I said, we don't know how many multiple seasons this is going to go for. But depending on how far they go with it, I've got a feeling, quite honestly, that this is going to go for multiple. That this is going to go for not just one, but for several seasons, and that to me, without a shadow of a doubt, we will see the freedom fighters. We will see the characters that pretty much this team is this comprised team of Sonic, Tails, Amy, Rouge, and Knuckles. Are comprised of. We're gonna have to eventually see them encounter the team, that inspired the comprising, the coming together, if you will. I think honestly, Wild Brain knows that. In fact, when Peachart tweeted this, the altered version of one of the posters with Sally instead of Rouge, they got a retweet and a like from somebody that works at Wild Brain, works on the show. So to me, that's a sign right there that obviously they have something in mind. They have something planned, but they can't say anything just yet. But to me, that moment, that crossover has to happen with this series. It has to, and I think they know it's inevitable. But anyway, to get back to the trailer, I liked the trailer. I liked the premise. I mean, the premise is very reminiscing when you think about it to what happened at the end of Worlds Collide, when after Mega Man used the Chaos Emeralds to restore his world and go back to his world and restore his timeline there, and do it successfully. It reminds me of when Sonic was trying to do it, and Eggman's like, no, if I can't have the universe, nobody can, and basically interfering with it. So what happens here with Sonic and Eggman dueling over this crystal, it gives off those same kind of vibes. So again, you could tell they took inspirations from all kinds of Sonic media, not just the SatAM Underground and Adventure cartoons, and maybe even Sonic X to an extent, but also the comics, IDW and Archie. You could see that. You could see that they took elements from each and every one of them in certain moments and put them in there. Now that's just my opinion, but I get that vibe. I get that feeling, just by what I saw here in the trailer. And honestly, like I said, with all of that mentioned here, I got a feeling this is going to be a good show. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good show, and I have a feeling, depending on how fans are receptive of it, and right now the reception seems to be very positive, that this here is going to give Sonic X a run for its money as the second best Sonic cartoon out there of all time. It really is. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that a lot of people are going to look at this, old fans and new fans, they're going to look at this and they're going to say that this is indeed a true successor to SatAM because, like I said, what you get here with the characters, not just in, the regular universe, but the alternate universe as well. You get that vibe of, this team is together is inspired by, the freedom fighters of SatAM and Archie comics. Like I said, Amy Rose in both worlds probably could be replaced and swapped out with Bunny. Rouge, same thing. She could be swapped out with Sally. And again, someone already altered a poster to show that being the case. And Knuckles could be swapped out for Antoine on both sides of the spectrum. But again, it's just to me, by giving off that feeling, by giving off that sense of deja vu, fans are going to look at this old and new as a true successor to SatAM, and that this is indeed the SatAM, even if it's not going to be straight up Saturday morning, but this is going to be the straight up SatAM of the 2020s going forward, especially into the 30th anniversary. And that's what's ironic too. This is premiering the month before the new year, which basically is the 30th anniversary of SatAM. So that's kind of ironic that you have this happening just a month before the official 30th anniversary of SatAM, not month-wise, but yearly-wise. commences. But again, I'm looking at this and I'm getting some good feelings about it, and can't wait to see it when it comes out December 16th. And that's all I can really say about it, guys. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Live chat during the premiere. Super chat, super stickers are open in the live chat as described in the description box. Super thanks afterwards as well. You can also support me at Venmo at Brian-Roma-2, Cash App at BWRoses98. Support me over at Patreon.com with the $1, $3 tier. You can also support me at my Teespring store for merchandise, where you can get merchandise you can't get anywhere else, as well as find me at BW Roses Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also check me out at VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get here on YouTube. DeviantArt.com at BVW1979 as well. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this? Do you get the same kind of feelings as I do, the same kind of familiar vibes that I do? Let me know in the comments as well as in the live chat. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later, but give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And do you truly believe this will be a true successor, or feel like a true successor to SatAM?